It's one part, no seams, no screws, no compromise. Yeah.
I didn't want to say that.
Yes,
but
you
yeah,
can say that. Simply anodize it.
That's
you
just
can't
the
go any
best
further.
we can ever do it. No.
No. Hello and welcome to Kieser Design. Welcome to our workshop. I'm sitting here with Carolin, the goldsmith. Say hello, Carolin.
Hello.
And I am Matthias Kieser, the founder of the company. And I'm actually pretty excited. I hope you are excited as well.
Super excited.
Yeah. Because over the last few months, we have worked tirelessly on a new watch release, and you might have already seen it. It's the Tragwerk 2.0 in navy blue, and it has a lot of super cool new features that I'm proud of. It was so much fun making this watch. It's actually a prototype that you see here. We haven't started manufacturing the actual watches yet, but that's what's going to start right after the video. We just wanted to take the opportunity to guide you through the watch, its features, maybe tell a little bit about us, about the background, our approach to watchmaking, manufacturing watches, and we have gained a lot of new subscribers in the last few weeks and months. Thank you for that. But I think it makes sense just to give a little of an overview of what Kieser Design is all about, right? We have a titanium watch with a 42mm diameter, 11.5 millimeters in height. The case itself is completely made of titanium grade 5. Even the dial is made of titanium grade 5, and the indexes are made of titanium grade 2, which is quite unusual to have indexes milled from titanium. You have a sapphire crystal, which is of course anti-reflective coated, a screw down crown, which makes it 100-meter water resistant, a blue FKM rubber strap, which makes it fit for swimming, etc. The buckle is also made of titanium grade 5, same as the case. It's completely hand finished, and the watch is limited to 25 pieces. We build robust, everyday companions with a little bit of avant-garde design, but wearable. And that was my goal when I started 6 years ago. I wanted to make a special watch, but something that you could actually have on your wrist all day long and have fun with it, not something you put in a safe.
I mean, on first sight, it doesn't look like it's super robust. I mean, it's so light and airy, and if you touch it, it's super light because everything is made out of titanium. So that's crazy about it.
For that, we turned to bionics. That means I transferred technical solutions or solutions that nature provides for technical challenges and applied it to the engineering world, or in this case the watchmaking world. So the dragonfly as an insect plays a big role in the design of the watch, but if you want to dive more into that, we have a separate video on that, so you should check that out. And what I would like to do now is talk about the features of the new watch. So the most important part of...
Or the part that we're mostly proud of.
Yeah, that is true. That is the exoskeleton.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what sets our watches apart, right? The whole watch is put in an exoskeleton, so it's like an outer cage that protects the case, the movement, all the vital parts of the watch, and basically makes it super resistant to whatever you encounter during the day, right?
Yeah, and that's the main part you took from the dragonfly, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So the dragonfly also has an exoskeleton which protects its inner organs, and I tried to transfer it to the watch, but I also wanted it to make it light and airy, and some say it's a skeletonized case, but the case itself is actually a separate part, and the exoskeleton hugs the whole thing and encases it. Yes. So yeah. But we already made watches with exoskeletons before, and this watch has an exoskeleton, of course, as well. But it's fundamentally different from what we used to do. Despite the difficulties in manufacturing the exoskeleton, it was not what I had always intended.
Yes.
I always wanted the exoskeleton to be one single integral part, like a monocoque in an F1 car, so just one piece taking up all the stress and all the load that it's facing.
I mean, it always worked great. So the old exoskeleton was just fine, but it was so stressful to get to the point to have the perfect exoskeleton that we can give to the customer.
Yeah.
So what I really like about this exoskeleton, how it is right now in the Tragwerk 2.0, is that this exoskeleton actually, as you said it before, it's hugging the case. So you put the case in and only fix it through some screws, but it's already stable as it is in one piece. And before it was always an addition to the case, which we then assembled around the case. And now that part is already completely done.
And now it's an exoskeleton which is one part, no seams, no screws, no compromise. It's finally what I've ever dreamed of. And the only way that we could pull that off, because machining such a complex part was basically impossible, is the use of titanium 3D printing technology.
Yes, we're so proud of this whole technique that we actually did a complete video about it a few weeks ago. So if you're interested in that technique, you should definitely check it out.
The downside of the 3D printing is the surfaces are really rough when the exoskeleton comes out of the printer.
They're actually quite spiky.
Yeah. Almost like sandpaper.
Yes.
And Carolin has a ton of work finishing the exoskeleton to make it just as soft and as nice as it is in the final watch. What she basically does is hand anglage, so putting all the chamfers on the exoskeleton, because you simply can't print in that resolution. And what you get is a real piece of goldsmith craftsmanship. And I thank you very much for all the effort that you put into all these chamfers and surfaces. They look just gorgeous. But to give a little hint to where the exoskeleton actually comes from, the 3D printer, we also did something special to some of the inner surfaces, right?
That's my favorite parts, or one of my favorite additions to the design we did with this new version. We left the inner surfaces that won't touch the skin at any time.
Or just are visible on the second view.
Rather rough. So of course we unsharpened everything, or we softened everything, but you still see the structure, you can still see all the different layers, and that's super cool. It gives a great contrast between the clean and smooth and
just perfect surfaces.
I didn't want to say that,
but you can say that.
Yes, and the rough and almost raw material. Maybe
we turn to the face of the watch, because that's something that I'm really fascinated by. The dial comes in our already famous honeycomb pattern. We started a complete series only about the dial manufacturing process, and if you watched it really carefully, you might notice that this dial looks now completely different than we planned it to look like. That is true.
I mean, not completely. Blue was always our
goal for the color. We went through the whole manufacturing process. Like, we milled the blanks, we put on the feet, we then flattened the dial blanks, and then you gave it a nice brushed finish. We anodized them, and we looked at them and we thought, looks quite nice, but it's probably not good enough for a Kieser. We always want to have the right feeling about everything. So if something is off or something kind of doesn't fit together,
we have to rethink. And that's what happened to the dial. And whenever someone says, okay, well, I got a weird feeling about this, we can always go back to the workshop and start all over again, as we did with the dial, and come out with a solution that works even better than before. It's pretty disappointing in the beginning, but then when you just found an even better solution, it's super rewarding. And the honeycomb pattern of the dial is actually another aspect that I took from the dragonfly, specifically the compound eyes, which makes the dragonfly such a good hunter, because it gives it great eyesight, with just hundreds of little single eyes next to each other. And when you see a dragonfly out in the wild, you can see those shimmering eyes and the color play on it, and I think it's pretty well reflected, so to say, in the dial, especially with this just gorgeous blue anodized titanium surface, right? And that's something that you do. Yes, I do the anodization, that's right. Yeah, I just love this blue color. It's always so mesmerizing to look at because it's so deep. Now that we talk about the dial, what you can also notice if you knew our watches before, we reduced the design on the dial even more than before, to just give it more room to shine and give it more room to... I always felt like
the Tragwerk logo on the lower half of the dial just was covering up too much surface of this wonderful honeycomb pattern. So we just said, we just leave it out of the dial for this time. And I think it works just great. And there are other things that we reduced on the watch, like the bezel had these inner spokes, a nice little detail, but it was just a bit of distracting. We actually thought about getting rid of the spokes, like, I don't know, a year ago or so, and then you made some sketches and we tried some stuff out. And in that minute, when we first tried it on the real watch, we just noticed that the bezel itself makes now something that we call a shadow gap. I don't know if you know that, but it makes a shadow around the... Like the inner circumference or the inner circle,
the inner circle, and through that shadow, the inside, there's a bigger contrast to the outside.
So I see.
Even more highlighted.
It's something that you would do in stone setting, right?
Yeah, when you set stones with the shadow gap, there are special settings for that. It's always so great.
Because you have the shining diamond and then you have the shadow gap, and it just gives like a stage for the diamond. So we talked about the bezel, we talked about the surface of the dial, but of course, as you know from our previous watches, we also manufacture the indexes and we manufacture the hands and we print the dials. So even the indexes, they start with a raw sheet of titanium. I mill them, I make the grooves, Carolin makes them nice and shiny, polishes them, then they come back to me, I put in the loom, and then I finally put them on the dial, and the same is true for the hands. And then we have our trusted pad printing machine that we love so much. We also have a video on that, where we put on the logo and the minute scale. What we should also mention about the dial is that we of course have blue loom on it, highest grade you can get, Super Luminova of course, but even if you look at the watch at night, you will have like a really nice blue shine. That
you can always remember, even in the dark, that the watch is blue.
It's good so that you don't forget, right? Should we turn to the side of the watch?
Maybe
not to forget to mention a tiny little detail.
Our new crown, which is super cool. We thought, why not take the theme of the hex shape and put it into the crown as well. And we tried it and
works perfectly. I mean, we had those grooves in the crown to give it a lot of grip, but this one just works as fine. And it's just another aspect of the holistic design approach of this watch. We of course put the trusted dragonfly on the crown as well, which is a super nice detail in my opinion.
Now that I see the watch from the side, you can actually see our like the ergonomic way that the exoskeleton is bent, so that it fits the wrist perfectly, even if you have a smaller wrist. Like you have a super thin wrist.
Okay, please don't emphasize it too much. No, the thing is, I designed the watch for myself, and of course I wanted to have a watch that is comfortable to wear. Yeah, it has a 42 millimeter diameter, but I didn't want it to feel like a 42 millimeter watch. And by having this bent shape of the case, or the exoskeleton in that case, you can make it super ergonomic and nice to wear.
I mean, even I wear the watch from time to time, and it's just great. I don't care about the size at all. It just fits great.
Because you have a lot of work with the Caseback, so it might be just fine if you introduce it. Okay,
so the Caseback, as you see it right now, or as it is in the final product, was something we had to think about a lot. Like we designed this engraving, and we really liked it because you made the dragonfly with laser eyes to highlight the 3D printed exoskeleton. And then we thought that's such a great engraving. And we thought, okay, how can we transfer this great idea of the engraving to the watch so that it's highlighted and that everyone really notices.
Yes. Because if you just engrave the Caseback, the contrast isn't quite as nice as we wanted it to be.
And then we thought about, why don't we put some color in the engraving? And then we thought, okay, should we use our normal pad printing machine? Should we use some ink? What should we do?
Because that's what you normally do, is like you put ink in an engraving or some paint. But it doesn't felt like it fits to our DNA. And then what would be more suitable than just to try anodization, right?
Yes, since we do everything, or since we create everything out of titanium, we always have the great opportunity to simply anodize it.
Simply anodize it, put it in a chemical bath, and then it's basically done by itself, right?
No.
Absolutely not.
I mean, we have so much experience with the anodization process right now, so sometimes it just feels like it. Okay, well, now I only have to anodize like all the parts, and then we're already there. But the anodization itself is such a sensitive step in the production that it's always like.
And you're a bit nervous when you have to do the anodization. But it turned out just perfect. And so the idea was, we want the engraved parts, or the lines of the engraving, we wanted them to be blue as well, because the theme of the watch is navy blue. But we want the other surfaces to be brushed, right? So we have 3 different types of surfaces on the Caseback alone: bead blasted, brushed, and anodized. I mean, obviously the engraving also says Kieser design. It shows, as Carolin said, the beautiful dragonfly with the laser shooting out of its eye. But it shows also the limitation of the watch. Then we have the 3D SLM writing on there, because the exoskeleton is made in a 3D laser sintering process. The watch is made of titanium grade 5, and it's 100 meter water resistant. So you don't forget the specs of your watch, we just put it on the Caseback. Right? But that's not the end of what we have to say about the back of the watch. Right?
Yeah, you can actually see that we implemented something that was Super important.
A lot of you guys want to change straps on their watches more often and
more easily.
Yeah, more easily. So we finally integrated those quick release spring bars so that you can change the straps more easily, and they are perfectly integrated in our relatively new FKM rubber straps, which are a super nice addition to the watch.
You searched for a supplier, I don't know, when I started here, you were already searching for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because as far as our watches are concerned, we manufacture all the parts in our own workshop. We manufacture the cases, the indexes, the hands, you name it, right? And it works just perfectly fine in this artisanal way. But the vulcanization process of FKM rubber is just something you have to do on an industrial scale. And I'm super happy that we found a supplier. He did an awesome job. It's such a soft and nice to wear feeling, and they integrated my hex pattern that I put on the back very nicely. It also helps that you don't sweat that much. And actually I started to wear my personal watches when I have some prototypes. I started to wear them even more often since when I got the rubber straps, because I can take them for swimming, I can wear them in the garden, and they have to take a lot of beating when I wear the prototypes. And with this, it just works perfectly fine.
So one thing I want to highlight while we're talking about the straps is also the buckle. We decided on 3D printing the buckle as well, and I finished it just like the exoskeleton. So there are some raw surfaces, there are some super clean, soft surfaces.
And you did all the hand chamfering on the buckles as well. So yeah,
that's right. Yes,
it looks just gorgeous. Yeah, and just the details, where the little pin goes. You can still see the 3D printed surface. If you close the pin, you have the perfect finished surface by you. It's just the buckle alone is worth another video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I think that has covered the outside and all the visible parts of the watch. We can talk about the movement.
Yes.
It's a Swiss automatic movement, Sellita SW200. The perfect match for this watch, in my opinion, because it's super reliable, it's super robust, it's been tested for decades, and it really can take a beating. And as I told you, I wear my prototypes in any occasion, and I never had a watch fail. And that is something that makes Sellita and their movements a super partner for our watches, I would say. Yeah.
It's just the perfect fit.
Yeah, you can service them easily, you can find somebody even when you're in a very remote place who can service your watch. So it's just the perfect fit for the idea that's behind the watch and the vision.
Yes, definitely.
Given all the work we put into all these parts of the watches and what we have manufactured already, the long-term goal is, of course, an in-house movement.
Yes.
But that's a pretty long way to go. Yeah. And it will take a while, but I still mention it because I don't want to lose focus on that track.
Yes, I mean, we've reached a milestone now with, I think, finalizing the Tragwerk as it is in the Tragwerk 2.0. So we're so happy with how everything looks now, how the design turned out, how everything is more refined than the very first version.
Yes.
And after we're so happy about all the outsides, we will tackle our next milestone, the in-house movement.
We'll just keep constantly working.
Yes.
But
but it will take a long way.
Yeah, it will take a very long time. Whenever you have a watch completed and a new series, you're thinking, well, that's top of the mountain.
Yeah, that's
you
just
can't
the
go
best
any further.
We can ever do, yes.
But it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you a lot, Carolin, because you were part of putting Kieser design on another level. And your finishing abilities and your eye for aesthetics is just gorgeous. So I'm really happy to have Carolin here in the workshop.
I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah. And it's fun to work together. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've covered what this watch is all about, what we are proud of, and
yes, I mean,
what makes it special. The most important thing.
There's still a lot of stuff we can talk about.
That is true, but if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Yes. Check out the web shop. It's available now. For how long? Because it's only 25 pieces. Yes. We have a special treat for all the early birds amongst you, so you should definitely check that out. Yeah. And I think it's a good idea, if you like watchmaking, the world of horology, to subscribe to the channel and also follow us on Instagram, where we give insights into our everyday workshop life and the stories. So that's a lot of fun. And we really like to keep in touch with you guys. Yes. So thank you, Carolin. And as always, see you in the next one.
Tschüss.